Hello my dear students, all of you welcome. In this video we are covering what is meant by agricultural income and what is the taxation treatment of agricultural income with the help of an example. So before moving to the meaning of agricultural income, one should know that all the exempted incomes are discussed under section 10. And the first exempted income which is discussed under section 10 is agricultural income. Means agricultural income is totally exempt from the liability of income tax, section 10 subsection 1. As a result, agricultural income does not form part of the total income. Okay. Central government cannot levy any tax on such income because agriculture is a subject of the state government. You know that income tax is collected by the central government and central government cannot levy tax on agricultural income. Why? Because agricultural income is a subject matter of the state government. However, the agricultural income is a factor in determining the tax on non-agricultural income in certain cases, in certain classes of assessees. So when that agricultural income is a factor in deciding the tax on non-agricultural income, that is discussed today. Okay, now we can move to the meaning of agricultural income. The Income Tax Act does not define what agricultural income is. Its definition is wide and inclusive, and the Act tells us which incomes are agricultural incomes. And it is necessary to understand clearly the meaning of the term agricultural income, which can be done with the help of the following chart. So here the meaning of agricultural income is given as a chart that you have to learn. That is important. You have to clearly understand what is meant by agricultural income. Okay. So the meaning is given as three items are there. The first item is A, any rent or revenue derived from land which is situated in India and is used for agricultural purposes. So here the factor is rent or revenue received from a land. For counting a rent as an agricultural income, that rent should be collected from a land which is situated in India, and that land situated in India should be used for agricultural purposes. So if the land is used for agricultural purposes and if that land is situated in India, that rent received from such land will be treated as agricultural income. Suppose if the agricultural land is situated outside the country, then that rent received from that agricultural land will not be having the benefit of agricultural income because that is not coming under the definition meaning of agricultural income, right? Okay, so if you are having rent or revenue from agricultural land situated in India, that income is just calculated like income from other sources. How we compute income from other sources? Just like we are computing this rent or revenue as agricultural income for income tax purpose. Okay, the first thing is over. Second item B is any income derived from such land by agricultural operation. That is the first item of the second B part. Any income derived from such land by agricultural operations. Agricultural operations include cultivation of a field, tilling of the land, watering it, sowing of the seeds, planting and similar operations on the land. If a person is having incomes from these operations, that incomes are also treated as agricultural income. Second thing is any process by cultivator or the receiver of rent in kind which render the produce fit for the market. Suppose if the agricultural produce is not fit for the market, means that you cannot sell in the market in such it is cultivated from the land. In that case, that produce should be made fit for the market. Clear now? Means if there is no market for the produce of the field and the cultivator or the receiver of rent in kind performs any activity to make the produce fit for the market, any income received from such activity is also agricultural income. Okay. Example is there, the process employed in curing of coffee, ginning of cotton, etc. Right? Third item, the sale of such produce. There is no need of further explanation. If you are selling the produce, agricultural produce in the market, the income received from the sale of that agricultural produce is also agricultural income. So three things are there. Any income derived from agricultural operations like tilling, watering, all these things, if you are receiving some kind of income, that is also agricultural income. And if that produce is not fit for the market, you have to make some operations, you have to do some processes, and you have to make that produce fit for the market. In that case, the income received from that process for making the produce fit for the market, that is also agricultural income. That may be by the cultivator himself or by the receiver of rent in kind. If the land is given for lease, the tenant will give, suppose if the tenant is giving the payment in the form of agricultural produce instead of cash, in that case the receiver of rent in kind, rent is received in form of kind, not in cash. That rent received in the form of kind is to be processed, then only we can sell that item in the market. And if the person is receiving some income by making the produce fit for the market, that is also agricultural income. And the third thing, that is obviously that is very much clear to you, if you are selling the agricultural produce in the market and if you are receiving some amount of money for that, that is also agricultural income. Okay, so if you are receiving income in the form of business income, you have to compute that income just like we compute profits, income from business, profits and gains of business or profession. Okay. And the third thing is any income from a farmhouse. If you are receiving any income from farmhouse, that is also agricultural income. And the income from a farmhouse is treated as agricultural income if certain conditions are satisfied. Okay, there are certain conditions to be satisfied for treating a farmhouse as a farmhouse. And if that farmhouse is treated as a farmhouse for the income tax purpose, then the income received from that farmhouse will be treated as agricultural income. And if the agricultural income from agricultural building is computed, that is computed as if it were income chargeable to tax under the head income from house property. Clear now? So this is the definition or meaning of agricultural income, which is given in section 2(1)(a). Okay, so that is the first part of today's discussion. Next we are moving to the assessment of agricultural income. As we already told that agricultural income is totally exempted from Income Tax Act. But even then it is a factor in deciding the tax on non-agricultural income in case of an individual, HUF, AOP, BOI whose total income excluding agricultural income exceeds the minimum taxable limit and the net agricultural income exceeds rupees 5,000. Means with effect from the assessment year 1974-75, agricultural income is integrated with non-agricultural income in certain classes of assessees. Okay, this integration is done only in those cases where the assessees having both agricultural and non-agricultural incomes. Means for the integration, certain things to be fulfilled, the assessee is having both agricultural income and non-agricultural income, and the agricultural income, net agricultural income is exceeding rupees 5,000, and non-agricultural income exceeds the minimum taxable limit. So the minimum taxable limit for an individual is 2,50,000. For a senior, super senior citizen, that will be changing accordingly. And this integration is done only for rate purpose. Okay. So these are the things. Integration is done only in the case of individual HUF, AOP and BOI in cases where their non-agricultural income, excluding agricultural income, exceeds the exemption limit, minimum taxable limit, and agricultural income, net agricultural income exceeds rupees 5,000. Okay, so there are certain steps to be followed for the integration that is explained very simply here. Then we will move to a question, right? So you know that the minimum taxable limit for an individual is 2,50,000. For a senior citizen it is 3 lakhs, and for a super senior citizen means an individual whose age is 80 years or more during the previous year is having a minimum taxable limit of rupees 5 lakhs. So if the individual is a super senior citizen, if that individual is having an income which is more than 5 lakhs, means if that person is having 6 lakhs non-agricultural income and agricultural income, say for example 6,000, in that case that will be integrated. Then we compute the tax liability. Okay. So these are the steps to be followed or the procedures which we adopt for the integration purpose. First of all, we have to add the net agricultural income with non-agricultural income. Net agricultural income is integrated, added with non-agricultural income. Then we calculate tax at current rates on this total. Okay. Third step is net agricultural income is integrated with the minimum taxable limit. Net agricultural income means agricultural income minus expenses, that is integrated with the minimum taxable limit. So for an ordinary individual, 2,50,000 is the minimum taxable limit, that is integrated. Agricultural income is integrated with 2,50,000. If that person is a super senior citizen, that is 5 lakhs. If there is a senior citizen, that is 3 lakhs, that is integrated with 3 lakhs. Agricultural income is integrated with 3 lakhs if that individual is a senior citizen. Fourth step is tax is calculated on this total. Now we integrated agricultural income and the exemption limit. Agricultural income plus the exemption limit. And the last step is out of the tax calculated at step 2 above, tax calculated at step 4 above is deducted and the balance is tax payable, on which we compute surcharge and health and education cess. So that is the process of computing tax when the assessee is having both agricultural income and non-agricultural income. Right. Now we are having a question here. This is the chart which is showing the computation of tax of an individual, which is giving you all the rates of tax and all. Total income is integrated with agricultural income, that is given as a chart, just that is it. Aggregate income you will get, and tax on that aggregate income that we have to compute. And if that aggregate income includes any casual incomes, we are having a tax rate of 30%. And if there is any short-term capital gain under section 111A, that is having 15% tax rate. And if there is LTCG, 20% tax rate or 10% tax rate, as the case may be. Okay, tax on balance income, that is the third and fourth step that we discussed. Aggregate income minus income in A at normal rates less tax on agricultural income plus the minimum taxable limit. Tax on balance income means if you are having other incomes than these special items, you are having a tax rate according to the slab rate up to 2,50,000 nil, 2,50,000 to 5 lakhs 5% like. Okay, that is the first part. Second part, we integrate the agricultural income and the exemption limit, minimum taxable limit, on which we also compute tax rate at the current rates. Then the difference between the two tax liabilities that we compute, on which we add surcharge if that is applicable, and education, health and education says at the rate of 4%, that is the gross tax liability from which we deduct tax deducted at source if there is any tax deduction at source, TDS, and tax paid in advance is also deducted. Balance is the tax payable, which is rounded off to the nearest multiple of rupees 10. All these things that we already discussed, tax rates of casual incomes and all those things, STCG, LTCG, everything that we already discussed, right? Now we move to the question now. The income of an individual from business is rupees 6,20,000 and agricultural income is rupees 25,000 for the previous year 2019-20. Agricultural expenses is rupees 5,000. Determine the tax payable for the assessment year 2021. That is the question. So here the individual is having both agricultural income and non-agricultural income. The condition is to be fulfilled for integration. Then only we integrate. Both the incomes are there. Agricultural income is the 25,000. Non-agricultural income is the 6,20,000. And non-agricultural income is more than the minimum taxable limit, that is more than rupees 2,50,000. 6,20,000 is there. Agricultural income, net agricultural income is 20,000. 25,000 gross agricultural income, from which we deduct the agricultural expenses rupees 5,000. So the net agricultural income is 20,000, which is more than rupees 5,000. So these two things are there, and the assessee is an individual. So definitely we have to integrate agricultural income and non-agricultural incomes, right? So we move to the solution. So first of all, first step is adding the agricultural income and non-agricultural income. Agricultural income plus non-agricultural income, net agricultural income plus non-agricultural income. Non-agricultural income is 6,20,000. Net agricultural income is 20,000. Integrate, added, total is, aggregate income is 6,40,000, on which we compute tax liability. If we compute tax on 6,40,000, for the first 2,50,000 there is no tax liability, that is the minimum taxable limit. On 2,50,000 nil, 0. 2,50,000 to 5 lakhs, 5% is the tax liability, means on 2,50,000, on next 2,50,000, 5% is the tax liability, that is amounting to rupees 12,500. Then 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs, 20%. So in that bracket, the individual is having rupees 1,40,000 income. Above 5 lakhs, 1,40,000. 6,40,000 is the total. So 1,40,000 is taxable at the rate of 20%. That is amounting to rupees 28,000. So the total tax is 40,500. First step, add agricultural plus non-agricultural income, 6,20,000 plus 20,000, on which we computed tax liability, that is amounting to rupees. Okay, this is the first step, that is amounting to rupees 40,500. How that arrived, that you know, that is calculated according to the current rates of tax. Okay, the third step is agricultural income is added with, integrated with the exemption limit. The individual is not a senior or a super senior citizen. The minimum taxable limit is, exemption limit is 2,50,000 plus agricultural income 20,000, net agricultural income 20,000. So that is total is 2,70,000, on which we compute tax liability. For the first 2,50,000 there is no tax liability. For 20,000, that is liable at the rate of 5%, that is amounting to rupees 1,000. Okay. Next step is we have to compute the difference between these two tax liabilities. First one is 40,500, second one is 1,000. The difference is 39,500, on which we have to compute surcharge if that is applicable. Here that is not applicable, and health and education cess at the rate of 4%. That is computed on tax. That also surcharge and cess is always computed on tax, not on income. So that is amounting to rupees 39,500 into 4%, that is amounting to rupees 1,580. Tax payable is total is 41,080 rupees. So that is the tax liability of the individual. So that's all about today's discussion, computation of tax liability of an assessee when the assessee is having both agricultural and non-agricultural incomes. Hope it is clear to you. Okay, so that we are winding up.